Welcome back to another episode of AC's Fantasy Recap. Going to be going over the Week 13 fantasy season. And again, I know I've said this on the pod before. Apologies for missing a couple of weeks. It's just that time of year, Got the holidays coming up. Got a busy schedule. Work, I've just been grinding, just putting in that fucking time, trying to get that cheddar. But hoping to get on a more consistent schedule going forward and hoping to give you guys the content that you love. We have a good episode for you today. 3 of my very, very good friends appearing on the pod. We have Jared Bloom. We have our fearless leader, Josh Palmer. And we have Schwecky. He's only on it for like 10 minutes. This kid doesn't have working internet, doesn't have a working computer, doesn't have working headphones. This man is broke. Absolutely fucking broke. But we enjoyed the time that he was able to spend with us. So without further ado, here's the episode. Very special podcast this week. I have 3 guests with me, a couple of recurring guests. We have Jared Bloom and Aaron Schwecky. Welcome back to the podcast, boys.
What up, gang?
What's up? How's it going?
It's going good. Thanks for joining. And our fearless leader, been trying to get him on for a while, all the way from Rickery, Minnesota, our manager, Josh Palmer. Josh, how you doing, buddy?
Gentlemen, it's good to be here at last.
Josh, give me a rating 1 from 10. How do you think the season has gone so far overall? Not your personal season, just the success of the league as an entity. What do you got for us?
There's been ebbs and flows just like any other season, especially with the draft, highly debated draft type, but it's been successful. I think there's been a lot of communication in the chat as well as performance, but it's been a fun one overall.
I'd have to agree.
1 through 9, 1 through 10.
Yeah, you did give me
I'll give it a 7.8. Always plenty of room for improvement.
That's pretty good. We're not even in the playoffs yet. I think that number could go up, and I'd have to agree with you. I think it's been a successful season overall for everyone with a lot of rule changes, a lot of new implementations to the league. But you've handled it very nicely. I know you don't always get the credit you deserve, but I'm giving it to you now, and that's where it ends. Let's start off with our Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Vikings are 10-2. We got the win, 27-22. We are currently a win/tie away from clinching the NFC North. We are 2 games up on the number 2 seed in the NFC. And I've come to the conclusion that we're not going to blow anyone out. It's going to be close games. The positive of that is we're playing playoff football every single week, and we're rolling. So I don't think there's a lot to complain about. There's obviously areas of improvement on each side of the ball. But overall, I've been loving what I'm seeing from the Vikes, and we get an opportunity this Sunday in Detroit as underdogs to move to 11-2. Jared, why don't you go ahead and tell me what you liked this last week from the Vikings? What did you see out there?
What did I like? Interesting. I like Kirk sitting in the pocket, slinging it downfield to Rager, just taking that hit, baby. That's what I like. What else? That's it. That's all I liked.
That's it? What about that Kirk run? I know you like that.
I like that. I like those 2 plays.
You didn't like the 2 stops at the end of the game to win the game? Hated that?
No, because I was driving and watching the game on my phone, and I almost crashed a couple times, so that was just scary.
That's fair. That was the only part of the game I actually watched, so it's kind of the opposite for me. But
YouTube TV has really become a danger to myself because I have it on my phone. If I'm driving back from the cabin, I'm not throwing on Paul Allen. I'm throwing on the game, hands-free still, but I'm definitely watching a lot of the game while driving.
Oh, yeah.
It's dangerous out there.
Why? You guys got to stop driving on Sundays. Sundays for relaxation and football. That's it.
Oh,
This is true.
This is the women in our lives making us drive around.
Yeah,
you know me. If I had it my way, I'd be on that fucking couch from 11 a.m. until 10 p.m.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't always get to drive the boat, unfortunately.
That is true. Shweki, what about yourself? What did you like from the Vikes on Sunday?
Well, I was playing a little softball during the start of the game, so I only caught probably the fourth quarter. But, what did they say? Did you guys hear that stat that the Vikes are like 28th, 9th, or 30th on, total defense? And I'm like, is it 12th on points scored? Or something like that? It's
so I think, I forget how
a lot of yards, but not a lot of touchdowns.
Right. It's funny. Actually, this week, we're the 31st defensive team in total yards allowed. The only team who's given up more yards is the Detroit Lions. So, little interesting note. But at the same point, it's kind of like our argument for fantasy defenses too. It's like, who gives a shit if we're giving up a ton of yards? I don't think it should count against us, just as in fantasy. I don't think if your defense gives up 600 yards but only gives up 10 points, it shouldn't be a huge hindrance to your score. But
what's the over this game?
The over on this game?
53, 54.
Oh, damn. I kind of like the over, but that's pretty steep. Yeah.
I bet you we get a scoregami this game. That's what I'm pulling for.
Lock of the week, scoregami.
No chance.
Vikings.
We're running out of
I like that. I like that.
I'm pretty sure last week was really close to one with the Vikings. 22-27, that seems a little off.
There was a scoregami last week, but it wasn't
the Cowboys.
It was the Cowboys,
yeah. I mean, anytime
you got to get in the 50s, and that's
your
only chance now.
Yeah,
they had it at like 30-something too, I think, but they just kept scoring. That's wild.
Yeah, I mean, we're giving up these yards, we're giving up, but it's kind of like the philosophy or the motto of this team this year. It's like we're making the stops when we need to. I know we got really, really fucking conservative at the end of the game, running it three times when we're backed up into our own one. But I mean, I like how this team is playing. I like how the guys are stepping up. The injuries, bit of a concern. I think we just lost to Caleb Evans basically until the playoffs. I know some other dudes are on injury report. Is Darisaw ever coming back? I don't know. Josh, what are the keys to success for the Vikings moving forward?
I think largely, health being at the top of the list, those names you just listed. Darisaw we need back. I was just going to look. I'm not sure when his expected return is, but he's got to be at the top of the list. But second, it's got to be pinpoint Kirk. We got to see Kirk getting back to just slinging and just finding the windows like he did at the beginning of the year when we were just amazed that he was finally doing it. He missed a couple windows last game. That big one to Hawkinson in the open flat. But if he gets back to just slinging and if he gets back to, that's a throw he needs to make. If he gets back to hitting those every time consistently, which he had been doing earlier in the year, then I think we're doing just fine. But I think health and Kirk.
I agree with that. It was not a good Kirk game. I know Jeff tried to razz me in the group chat a little bit about it, but definitely missed some wide open throws. Maybe that's just a symptom of how aggressive he's been this year in moments where we've needed him to be aggressive, which I'm okay with. I'm okay that you're missing a couple. You're not the totally accurate. We got to pause.
Can you guys hear this?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
Is that you?
It's like popcorn.
All right. A little technical difficulties with this podcast. This is podcasting for you, baby. It's not perfect. It's not pretty. I got to go back in the editing room. This is what I do for you guys. I sacrifice my fucking fantasy football season to bring you guys content. Yeah, Hope you're happy about it.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did. Just to wrap up with the Vikings, again, we're not going to blow teams out. We are skating by the skin of our teeth. I think that's the phrase. And, before the season started, we were, people were picking us to finish third, fourth in the division. We're clearly going to win the NFC North now. I just don't think there's anything to really complain about. Obviously, we'd like to get a blowout win. Not going to happen. And we're just going to have to ride this energy into the playoffs. You guys concur?
Concurrence.
Yeah, I totally agree. Aiden, are you not going to update our listeners about who we lost here? They're going to be awfully confused.
I was going to bring it up halfway through the pod and ask them if they've like noticed anything different. But for the listeners at home, we lost Aaron Schwecke.
It looked like there was a home invasion and some guy just came into his house.
I saw Dalvin Cook in the background and I got scared. I don't know what was going on.
And a random house guest. And then a female cop. It was a mess.
There was Mace.
Aiden mentioned the rest of the podcast had to be for Kirk support group listeners only. And here we are. We digress.
Yeah, didn't fully trust what Aaron was going to bring to the pod. But Aaron, thank you for hopping on for the first 10 minutes. We appreciate it. Moving on. We're going to do a couple picks this week. We are going to be picking the MVP of the NFL, the Offensive Player of the Year, and the Coach of the Year. I'm going to give you guys some odds that I pulled from FanDuel before the pod. Here are the current odds for MVP. You have Patrick Mahomes plus 125, Jalen Hurts plus 150, Joe Burrow plus 900, Josh Allen plus 1100, Tua plus 1400. Now, my absolute gut is telling me to pick Patrick Mahomes, but I dug in a little bit. I wanted to make a good pick. I also kind of wanted to make a little value pick, so I'm a little inconsistent on this segment because I do think you should be picking who you think it's going to be, but I'm going to go a little value with this one, and I'm going to pick Josh Allen. The odds are plus 1,100. He has 3,400 passing yards, 25 touchdowns, 11 picks, a little high on the picks. He's got 581 rushing yards, which I think really separates him from Patrick Mahomes. He's got about double the rushing yards that Patrick Mahomes has.
How many red zone interceptions?
A lot of red zone interceptions. I didn't factor that in. You're right.
No, I just thought of that.
Also 5 rushing touchdowns, and they're currently first in the AFC. They have an okay schedule for the rest of the year, and I think if they were to just run the table, Josh Allen gets back to form at plus 1,100. You know, they love to pick different people for the MVP every year. They don't want to just hand it to Patrick Mahomes again. I think that hurts him a little bit. Josh Allen's never won it. Give me Josh Allen at plus 1,100. What do you guys got?
I think it's going to come down to a political game again of who wins or who comes out with the best record. I think if Mahomes and the Chiefs finish as the number 1 seed, it's going to be very, very difficult for them to hand it to anyone else. Allen's taken a huge dip the last few weeks. I think who was that they were comping his stat lines the last 3-4 weeks? It was Davis Mills. They were like nearly identical stat lines. It was terrifying to look at. But I think it's just going to come down to who has the best team, and I think the Chiefs are probably going to end up on top. I can see the pitch for Hurts if the Eagles finish it out, although they've had that easy schedule. But if he has a dominant ride throughout them finishing the season strong, he could win it. But I'm going to go with Mahomes. I don't know how often have we ever seen, if ever, a back-to-back MVP, but if the Chiefs finish this thing out, I think it's Mahomes for sure, and Hurts definitely has a good chance.
So you're basically saying Eagles need to run the table, which I'll bring up their last 5 games for Coach of the Year. So if they were to run the table and maybe you see like another loss from the Chiefs, you could see Jalen getting it just based off that kind of record. And his stats are all right. I mean, they're definitely towards the top, but it's nothing like absolutely mind-blowing.
Yeah, I think right now it's Mahomes to lose because I think the Chiefs have the path if they take the number 1 seed. But this is the most important stretch of the year, and whoever goes crazy this last stretch of the year, that's who's going to win it for sure. But my bet is Mahomes and the Chiefs are the number 1 seed in the AFC, and I bet he's taking home the hardware is my prediction. But between those two teams being far and away the head of their conferences, them coming out on top, they have the best chance of winning it. And I am leaning towards Mahomes for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's all fine and dandy, but it's wrong. I'm going to stick with an AFC quarterback, actually Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs' kryptonite, Mr. Joe Burrow. JB himself, same initials. You like that? My fantasy quarterback.
You like that?
You like that? I think the Bengals are getting healthy here. They're getting Mixon and Chase back. Chase was back last week. They're just setting up for a sweet run down the stretch. They're firing on all cylinders. It's go time, baby. Joe's hungry.
Yeah, I like the Joe Burrow play for sure. It's kind of crazy the drop off with these odds. I mean, Mahomes at plus 125, Hurts at plus 150, and then Burrow's next at plus 900. I mean, really bold of Josh to say the two highest odds people, have the best chance of winning it. Just insanely bold prediction by him.
I will say this, Jared. I like the take. If you set me up like that again, though. I didn't realize your last name was Bayless nowadays. I thought it was Bloom, but go ahead.
Holy shit.
Let's keep this thing rolling here. Let's keep it going.
Holy shit. Shots
fired.
The
people are going to fall asleep. You think we have listeners 20 minutes in? There's one guy listening. Who is? I don't even know. Aaron, probably.
It might be Shweki. He might just be in the lobby of this, just watching us. Wow, I like that. I like that we all had
What's Kirk at? Is he like top 10?
Yeah, what if Kirk gets
Kirk is the dark horse for sure.
Yeah, he gets really hot.
That would be amazing. That would be fucking amazing if we went out and Kirk just we start blowing teams out all of a sudden. Not likely, probably at all.
Not likely. But the other thing with that too is I'm sure JJ has better MVP odds, so he like have to blow out teams while also not going to Justin Jefferson at all. It'd just be TJ Hawkinson.
Right.
Thielen.
I was just going to ask when is the last time it's been a non-quarterback? Like, I like how we entertain the fact that it could be like Jefferson or Jefferson or Hill or a wide receiver running back like midway through the year, and then it just always falls off like this, where it's these five quarterbacks racing for MVP odds.
Do you know who the last
quarterback
was?
I do know.
No, I sure do. You don't know?
So the Viking.
Is it AP?
Yeah,
of course. I've said for a while, like he probably will be the last non-quarterback. I mean, maybe there will be one, but like he's going to be the last non-quarterback for a long time. That was 2012.
Yep.
10 years,
which is so lame. So lame. Because then you look at we're about to look at it, the Offensive Player of the Year award. It's going to have a lot of other names, and where it's like, guess what? All these MVPs, they play offense only. So.
But why do we have to pretend like quarterback isn't so clearly the most important position? That's what I mean, you see a lot of players around the league like, oh, it's just a freaking quarterback award. It's like, yeah, it's the most important position in football. Like, I don't have a problem with it. But that's why they made Offensive Player of the Year, which I have the odds right here. For Offensive Player of the Year, we have Tyreek Hill plus 200, Jalen Hurts plus 250, Justin Jefferson plus 300, Mahomes plus 1,000, Diggs plus 1,600, Kelsey plus 1,600. I spent a little time debating this. Part of me wanted to pick Tyreek, but I'm picking Justin Jefferson, baby. 1,277 receiving yards, 6 receiving touchdowns. I think he has another rushing touchdown as well in that. I think this has really been the emergence of Justin Jefferson year on all the talk shows. That's who they're talking about. Being talked about as the best wide receiver in the league. I could see Tyreek maybe just putting up the stats to edge Jefferson out. But if we really want to have a strong end of the season, JJ is going to be getting the ball a lot. He's my pick at plus 300 to win Offensive Player of the Year.
Wow.
Who wants to disagree with me?
Well, I don't want to play the odds game, but just to put an argument up, what's the most important offensive stat? Touchdowns? Who has the most touchdowns? Jamal Williams? I don't know. Come on, Mr. 1 Yard himself. Honestly, it's probably going to be one of those top receivers. And I think Offensive Player of the Year shouldn't go to a quarterback since MVP does so much. Like, it shouldn't even be in the running.
Yeah, I feel like Jalen's there just because it's like, okay, he's had an awesome year. Their team's maybe going to have 2 losses at most. Like, it's almost just like a backup. Like, okay, he had a really good year. Quarterback's most important position.
How about
Let's give him
Justin
high
Fields? I mean, he has over 900 rushing yards, which is insane.
Yeah, but they have
I
3
feel like
fucking
Jalen's there. Jalen's there because they know that he's not gonna be a real contender for MVP.
For MVP,
I don't think they're gonna give it to him. I would follow suit with you, Aiden, but I'm gonna go homer on the next one. So my arguments for Tyreek Hill. I mean, first-year receiver in a new system, gets plugged in, has all those doubts of like, will he produce the same? And he's just been that and more. Like, he's been so dominant. He's got what's their quarterback's name? I forget. He throws left-handed.
God, what is his name? Baker Mayfield.
Like $45 on him.
All the naysayers, all the whatever.
Tua Tagovailoa.
The dude is fast. He catches balls and he does backflips. He's good, and I think I'm pretty confident you can plug him in with anybody, even Baker Mayfield, and he could put up these numbers. He's been ridiculous. I had my doubts. I wasn't going to draft him for $60, $55, whatever it was. He's put that to bed. I mean, he's just that good with probably anyone. So I would lean his direction. Again, I think these awards are won in the last 5 weeks. That's my prediction, though.
Yeah,
anyone could pull away, but I would love to see Justin pull away. But I think Reek has been just that dominant.
It's so funny, the conversation surrounding it too, especially during the offseason when he got traded, where it's like, oh, Mahomes loses his best weapon. Oh, Tyreek is going to Tua, like not going to produce. He's number 1 in the league in receiving yards. Patrick Mahomes number 1 in the league in passing yards.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just ballers, you know? You can't contain them.
Yeah. I think those storylines that he's negated will be like his strongest advocate there. That people doubted that he'd be able to produce like this, and doubted that without Mahomes he would be able to do this. But I mean, he's just been balling out.
Has he done a backflip in the end zone this year? That's one of the craziest things.
No backflips. Has he done the peace sign? Has he burned someone?
Oh man,
I think our boy put that to bed.
I don't know what that means. Our boy.
You're laughing. I was like,
our boy, the Gopher safety. Fuck, what's his name?
Antoine Winfield.
Antoine.
Yeah.
Twan. Remember when Brady was fucking hammered at the victory parade? He's like, Twan.
That was his spotlight on the national.
Oh, that was sick. That was
sick.
A baller move. Mm-hmm. Okay, wow, all different again. We got Tyreek, Justin Jefferson, Jamal Williams. Interesting. Coach of the Year, final award that we're going to do. The other ones, I mean, it's like Micah Parsons is like a -400 for
DP
for defensive player. So we're not going to fuck around. Don't care about rookies. I'm doing my own thing here. Coach of the Year odds. We have Nick Sirianni -200, KOC +500, Robert Saleh +1200, Mike McCarthy, that fat fuck, +1600, and Mike McDaniel +1600 as well. Mine's going to be simple. I'm taking the favorite, taking Nick Sirianni. Really? The Eagles are 11-1. Their final 5 games are the Giants, Bears, Cowboys, Saints, Giants. I only see them losing to the Cowboys potentially, but I think they could run the final slate of the year. And obviously the only other one you could consider for this, in my opinion, is Kevin O'Connell. But I think these teams were in a similar position in the offseason where weren't highly touted. I don't think a lot of people were picking the Vikings. I don't think a lot of people were picking the Eagles. So it's a similar situation. I don't think the Vikings can do enough in terms of the wins column to surpass the Eagles. So I don't really see how Kevin O'Connell is going to move ahead of him unless Vikings run the slate, Eagles drop one to the Giants, lose a weird one to the Saints, lose to the Cowboys, which I don't think is going to happen. So give me Sirianni -200.
Wow. Why with the favorite again?
I
Wow,
haven't.
crazy.
That's the first time.
Oh, Josh, you got it?
I'll go ahead and go next here. I'll follow
Shoot.
this up. First of all, Sirianni, after that video of him just like yelling at the fans on the sideline, he was automatically not my pick after that video. I mean, come on, where's the class? Where's the showmanship? You're a coach and you're doing this. This is pathetic. But I said I was going Homer this pick. It's Kevin O'Connell. Lock it in. The guy, the job he's done, tremendous. I mean, the videos you see him about like walking around pregame with the players and this and that, just like these guys are performing at this level because of him. When has Kirk been in the national conversation like this? When have the Vikings been in the national conversation like this? This guy has come in, and I think that video, or the videos of him pregame are is such night and day between what Zimmer was to what he is for that locker room. And I think he is deserving all the credit for this season they're having. And plus, those are my guys. Vikings, bring it home. Come on, here we go.
The Vikings, whatever it is, their production team, the videos they're putting out on YouTube are unreal. That 5-minute video of KOC mic'd up during the the Patriots game, unreal.
Yeah. So I wanted to look, and also, first-year coach coming in as a first-time head coach too. Just the job he's done is incredible for a turnaround. How long has Sirianni been a coach? Is it his third year with the Eagles? Second?
I was thinking that he not a
second year. So he was 9-8 last year.
Yeah, right.
But they're at the top of the conference and they're playing well. But that video, it's terrible.
So you're going off the
can't
video.
root for that guy.
I don't hate it.
It's over. It's easy to be a hater after that. But first time coach, what he's done, turnaround, and then just absolute. The players have just got to love battling for O'Connell. He's just so likable in the media, in the spotlight, in interviews, and in the locker room. I hope that we win the Super Bowl. It's just that simple.
Okay.
He's got my vote.
What do you mean when you keep saying Homer? What's that mean?
Homer means you're rooting for the home team. So I'm going to be a Homer. Last time I didn't pick Jefferson. I'm a Homer this time. I'm picking my home team.
Four.
I was thinking Simpsons. Yes, that was a dumb thing.
4:45 dead center.
I'm kidding, bro. That was awesome. I'm a Homer too on this. Okay. Well, I'm going to go with my coach of the year. Disregard odds. All right. This is a team I've had a love-hate relationship with. I'm sure most of you have had a hate relationship with. He is the coach of the Seattle Seahawks, Pete Carroll. He's my coach of the year because I know he's not the brains probably behind the trade, but he pulled off one of the greatest trades in NFL history, getting rid of that clown Russell Wilson, letting Geno cook. Seattle is having a pretty good year. He's a guy that I'd like to play for, just kind of fun. He's not going to win it, but he's special to me this year.
Seahawks have been off, and he was in these he was, towards the top. I think they've just dropped a couple of games recently. That's hurting him, but fuck, man, just for getting rid of Russell Wilson, you should win something. You should win something. That dude.
Did you give the odds? I feel like he's got to be up.
I was looking him up. I think he's top 10. But
I can see that being a pick.
I think once you get to these plus 1600s, he's got to be around there. Maybe he's a plus 2000 or something like that. Carroll's been awesome. I don't know what the Seahawks were ranked as before the season, but I bet their win total was probably 4.5, 5 games or something like that.
Yeah, the main thing is everybody thought they were going to be toast after us. And they're way better than the Broncos, which is sick.
It's by far the biggest dark horse vote for this award because it's a team that no one expected to be here, and it's the coach shipping the quarterback out and coming out smelling like flowers. So he looks so good for everything that's happened since.
Dude, I saw Sierra was on a talk show. I was just in a bar, and she was on the Jennifer Hudson talk show. I'm like, I don't think you should be doing any media. I don't think you guys should be in.
You shouldn't be proud of anything
at all.
You should discontinue all your music. You shouldn't be able to listen to Sierra songs anymore.
Disappear.
Yes.
Forever. Ridiculous.
I mean, she's up there with Kanye just for being with Russell, to me.
How many bathrooms are hers? That's my question. How many bathrooms does she?
Probably one, maybe half of one, knowing Russ.
All of them. They should be all of them now. Like, divorce that guy. Keep the house.
Go back
Ridiculous.
to Future. Now that would be crazy.
That would be the move. If I'm Sierra, that's what I'm doing. All right. Wow. A lot of different opinions in that segment. I was worried we were just, going to be saying the same shit, but really different opinions. Wrong opinions, I might add. I picked all the winners, but, thanks for chiming in, boys. Next segment. We're going to do manager of the year for the Cooper, Orion, Velasquez, Olsen Memorial Fantasy Football League. And I have some odds here for you boys.
Oh, where are you pulling these from? Straight from Vegas?
No, this one's Bavana.
This is good.
We got who's on this pod earlier. I don't know if you remember. Aaron Schwecke.
Wow.
Currently leading the league, plus 130. Behind him, Justin Thompson, plus 200. Josh Palmer, plus 300.
You didn't just go with the standings order, did you?
Jared, plus 600.
Ooh.
And Jeff, just kidding, left Jeff off the list, didn't go just standings. I'm going to give it to Sam Elliott at plus 1,500. This man finished last in our league just a year ago, and he's fighting for a playoff spot now. Do you want my pick, or do you guys want to take a crack at it?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead?
I can.
Okay.
Or
You go ahead, Josh. Go ahead.
Okay, I can start us off here because I'm going to go with.
Let's go Homer Simpson.
Are you going to go with yourself?
I'm going with someone who was left off your list.
Wow.
Damn.
So I'm going with, and now here's my caveat, Tate, you got to fucking bring this home, man. You got to make the playoffs. I'm going with Mr. Tate Garrett because I don't view this as, we're not keeper league, we're not dynasty league. I don't view it as Sam had a dog shit year. It's over. He got that dog shit year. But there's no comeback because he gets a brand new roster. Tate, I don't know if I've ever seen a first four picks be a worse draft strategy in my life. The man then goes, his team just bleeds out. He needs to be revived. He loses what? Javonte and who's the other one?
Brees Hall, right?
Brees Hall.
Brees Hall. Two just absolute stud running backs. And I'm not going to say he's got a really good crack at winning at the championship at all, but the man has gone from bleeding out on the floor, calling for his mother's name out, to he's got a chance at making the playoffs again. And I think that, which again, for the second year, Tate's miraculous climb from the bottom of the barrel up back to the playoffs is something that's commendable for a manager. And
it is commendable.
Again, he has to make the playoffs. So he's my pick. I think that
I'll give you plus 2,000
with him.
I'll give you plus 2,000.
I'll take plus 2,000. I'll put a couple bucks on it, and I'll try to ride out pretty with my boy Tate.
All right, I like that. Jared, follow it up, please.
Wow. I'd like to go with the guy at plus 600, JB, but if I'm anything, I'm humble, so I won't. I'm gonna go with our boy JT. He got out in front early, and he just stayed out in front, and no one could catch him until these last couple weeks, and he's still, pretty much guaranteed a bye, I think. And honestly, I never thought his team was that good, but he's just been winning, So.
Yeah, he's dropped a little in points. He was definitely towards the top for a while, has now dropped down, actually has the lowest points out of anyone currently in a playoff spot. But considering where JT is every year, and I guess now Josh added the caveat, I can't include past years in this, even though
that was my take.
Even though I made up the fucking segment. But
don't let my take derive your take, man.
I'm not. Don't worry. I do like the Justin Thompson pick. I thought he's had a good team all year. Not a guy that screams fantasy football juggernaut, but he's had a successful year. Glad to see him in the playoffs.
I just doubt he's been sweating like the rest of us trying to make the playoffs,
Yeah.
So that's kind of a nice feeling. I got to imagine.
Yeah, for sure. All right, in the mood of taking different players, I'll go ahead and take the favorite again. I'm going to take Aaron Schwecke. This is a guy who, even worse than Justin, he's bottom of the barrel in this league. He was the easiest win for years. But let me pull up his team here really quick. I think it's a really good, dangerous squad. He has the number one running back in Josh Jacobs, who I tried to get from him earlier in the season. Should have made that happen. Would have been huge for me. He's got Derrick Henry, who I believe is the third running back in the league. He's got Justin Jefferson, obviously unreal, third wide receiver in the league. He's just got really good pieces, and I think it's a dangerous team. I think, as Jared said, he's primed to get a bye. Is definitely a contender.
I didn't say that. I'm taking the bye from him this week.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Well, has a chance at a bye, not a good one, but he's been good. The one issue, he is starting Deshaun Watson, and I think we're a league that should be above playing players like Deshaun Watson. I do think this is a league manager issue. I don't think he should have been available on the waivers. That's a whole nother issue. But for a guy to stoop this low to play Deshaun Watson, it's an ugly look. It's an ugly look for him.
Well, his strategy of streaming quarterbacks all year is better than Deshaun. Deshaun sucks. He had 5 points last week. I don't know if he's going to get that much better.
Yeah, I don't. And it's just kind of a risky play for him. He doesn't even have. He's got Tyler Huntley. That's his backup QB.
Like, let's just look at the waiver.
Yeah, look at the waiver
right
wire.
now.
I feel like there's a player I'd rather play this week.
I mean, there's a 12 Marcus Mariota.
Oh,
I'm glad you
Jacoby
brought this up,
Brissett.
Aiden. Just one small note. We will be discussing changing the league name to COVOMFFL, Women's Rights League, during the summer. It's just going to be a discussion. But
I've heard a lot of people talking about that.
So thank you. And I mean, I think it's a necessary discussion. So
should we suspend Aaron 8 games next year?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Wait, what was it? 12 games?
8 game suspension. It was 11 games for.
We'll let him start.
Or no, maybe it was
2 weeks before the playoffs. I'd be sure.
I will say this: I'm looking at the QB waiver wire right now. I would also be starting Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, Marcus Mariota.
Probably not. Brady is the best guy you can get right now.
And I'm not even convinced that's Tom Brady.
To add on to that, Aaron has had the fair advantage of playing the QB waiver wire game all season long. So he's in this position because of his own stuff.
Yeah, he could have. Yeah, he's just waiting for Deshaun. So.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, he just texted me. Make sure you tell the guys my pick for manager of the year. Okay, what is it? He's typing. Wow. Very surprised he's going with me.
Wow.
Give him a reason. He said, outstanding squad, the way you rally your boys week in and week out.
He didn't say anything about grit, did he?
He said, this might be the grittiest team I've seen in his time at playing fantasy. Wow.
All right.
Means a lot. Thank you, Aaron.
And that's the last word we have from Jared Bayless here today, everyone.
Whoa, dude. What do you mean?
Jared Bayless is signing out.
Hey, man.
Wow. Ridiculous.
That's not nice.
All right. That concludes the Manager of the Year segment. I guess let's talk fucking fantasy. Here's the current standings right now. You have Aaron Schwecke 1, Justin Thompson 2, Josh Palmer 3, Jared Bloom 4. All 4 of you guys have clinched a playoff spot. Congratulations. Just outside of the clinching, we have Jeffrey Osborne 5, Sam Elliott 6, Tate Garrett 7, Sam Nodler 8. And while I am not mathematically eliminated, I don't give a fuck. I am eliminated. Aiden Coleman at 9.
Way to give up on your team. Wow.
They gave up on me. What can I say?
Was it Cam Akers week 1?
It was Cam Akers week 1. It was Michael Thomas week 4. There's probably
it was all those trades you made.
I don't think the trades were that bad. Fuck the
That's
trades.
another segment.
That's another segment. That's for another week. All right, so there can definitely be some shifting happening in the, with the people that have already clinched. But let's maybe talk about who we think is going to get these last 2 playoff spots. And I'll start off by saying I think Jeff is in a pretty prime position to get a playoff spot. If Tate gets 2 points, he'll be tied with Jeff, but he has
to make up like 90 points.
He has to make up like 90 points. So I think Jeff is in a pretty good spot to clinch this last week, which everyone will clinch. So the real question is, who do we think is going to get that 6th spot? Sam, Tate, or Sam Nodler? Josh, who you got?
Who's my bet? Oh, let's see here. Well,
Who's your bet
Sam
for the
Elliott
final playoff spot?
Sam controls his own destiny. If he wins, he's in. So all he has to do is just trickle down his leg a little bit, and he coughs it up to one of the other guys. My manager of the year relies on Tate to do it. Let's see. What do I actually think is going to happen?
Tate needs to beat me, get 2 points, and he needs Sam to what? Just lose outright.
He needs
not score.
Well, he could get in.
He basically needs Sam to get no points because
right. Sam has.
He's not going to win He's not going to win the points.
It's like 5 less points than he has for Jeff.
Tate does need to beat you though, Jared, because he's down to Sam by about 84 points.
Yeah.
So
yep.
So Tate basically needs 2 points here.
Sam needs a flop. Tate needs to beat you and be in the top 6.
But Sam is playing Schneider, who I'm going to guess doesn't want to eat hot wings. It's based off the regular season, right?
He's got motivation.
Yeah. Absolutely. We're gonna get to that last. Don't talk about hot wings yet.
All right.
I'm dancing around it. My vote is Tate. He's my horse. I'm riding him. Let's go into the sunset.
Wow. So you're predicting a big flop from Sam Elliott this week. Really?
I'm predicting it.
What's so stupid about this?
I mean, looked at his roster, but yeah.
Yeah, what's so stupid about this, which I think this affects Sam like pretty significantly, is the buys. 6 teams are on bye in week 14. How the fuck does the NFL let that happen?
Wow, I didn't know Sam's team.
There was only 2 teams, I think, maybe a couple of weeks ago that were on a bye. Why the fuck wouldn't we have more, especially with how big fantasy football is? Like, we had to take that into consideration.
It's the immediate glaring thing that the NFL doesn't give a shit about NFL playoffs. But yeah, Sam's team takes a hit. Aaron Jones on bye, and he's got Aaron Jones and McLaurin,
Cordero,
Olave on bye.
Yeah. He has like at least one starting running back and wide receiver. That blows.
Mac Hollins and Tyler Boyd instead of those names. So it's a hit. And it's kind of, it's kind of the storyline that you need to see.
Sam's projected 104. Snides is projected 86. So we'll see.
Sam, if you're listening to this, I still love you. I'm just trying to make storylines here.
I got to go with Sam because I can't go with Tate. That would be rooting for my downfall. That just wouldn't be smart.
Yeah, I guess I thought it was maybe a little more intense, but now looking at it, it's a really uphill battle for Tate or Nodler to get it. I mean, Nodler, it's basically impossible, right?
No, he's within points. He's within what? 9.
He just has to outscore him by 17. 16.
Yeah, exactly. 17.
So and it's the same outcome as Tate plus.
I could see Nods getting 2 points this week, and Sam Elliott. I don't know. That's tough too.
It's going to be interesting to watch for sure. Because Nods has a little more caveat where like he needs Tate to only get 1 point. He needs to get 2. Needs Sam to get 0.
I think Nods won't make it just on the principle of his team name. You shall not pass. He doesn't have shall not.
He doesn't.
I don't think he's had him on his team all year.
He shall not play off.
Am I still the Josh Palmers? Did I ever change that?
No, you're still the Josh Palmers. Which do you have Josh Palmer on your team?
I do.
By the way, respect, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, that's
He's a
dope.
good
That's
pick
dope.
by me. So it's going to be close. We didn't even really get into, the buys. The buys are going to be crazy. Josh is fighting for a buy. Jared has an. Do you even have a chance with the people that are playing?
Oh yeah, the top 4 teams all have a chance
For a bye, yeah. So we'll see.
All
The
that-
main thing is the points champion. That's the main race with the top guys.
Right.
Me, Schwecky, and Jared are fighting for that top scoring crown, and then all 4 of us are fighting for a bye because Justin's so low in points that Jared could easily top him for a bye.
Whew.
Wow. That's a lot of money on
I
the
just
line.
got nervous.
Yeah, that's scary as shit. Nervy.
Woo.
All right. So those are your playoff standings. It's going to be exciting. I'm gonna be watching, even though I'm on the outside looking in. I'm excited for the league, excited for the new faces in the playoffs this year, and should be a fun one.
AC.
Yeah.
It wasn't on the list of topics, but might I interject one?
You might.
It was talked about in the group chat all week long, but kind of just proposed changes to the league. And I thought that was a very good conversation. A lot to think about.
I'll spend a little time on this. I do like the conversation. I'm down for anything that makes the league a little more complicated, that gets people more invested. Because, as I've said before, we're getting older. Me and Josh just had birthdays, 28. We're not going to make new friends. We're kind of past that age. So we're friends with the people that we're friends with. This is probably our fantasy league for the rest of our lives. So let's make it good. Let's make it that people are in. Thank God Schwecky did well this year, because I could have seen him out of the league.
I know.
Absolutely.
He was threatening it.
He was absolutely
I
threatening.
don't know if he'd make it to the season, but
he made it, and he did great, and he's an auction lover now. Loves it. Couldn't imagine fantasy without it. So if it's keeper, I'm a little hesitant on dynasty.
Yeah, me too.
I definitely like the keeper option. So what are we suggesting, that would occur next year, or next year we redraft and then it's the year after?
So, and I'm not an advocate for dynasty at all. I don't think that's the right fit for this league. I'm not even in one. And I think that the hesitancy of all of these things, that keeper is far more of a better transition by a long stretch. But the arguments for it just being all of these teams that have been out for weeks or this or that, they could have had other strategies that they could be executing during this time of the year. If they have no keepers, or if they have, say, like a Travis Kelce who they drafted for $50 and a playoff contender needed them, they could start trading for rookies that are performing, or this or that, or like low value players.
So that's why we wouldn't start it this year, is what you're saying?
Right. No, you can't start this year. So we would start next year for the following year. So we have to say that we're doing it before draft. Otherwise you're not, because then you're actually drafting with that in mind. And then the second argument being draft strategy. It just gets more fun. So it wouldn't be this year, but the next year you could go in with 3 guys. And if you have 3 guys, then your strategy totally changes. So if you have like really good values at receiver, or running back, or this or that, then you get to like say, oh, I'm going to pony up for this stud quarterback or this stud tight end. Like it totally changes the strategy. Where this past year, we did a auction draft for the first time where it was all split thinking and split decision making, where somebody's on the clock and you have to figure out, do I want him, do I not? And like your strategy changes in just a split of a moment. But when thank you, Aiden, when you have some things kind of determined pre-draft, you can change your draft strategy. Like you're thinking about more, you're just trying to fill holes and trying to fit a roster need. Those kind of things change, which is more fun. And then also you get rewarded for thinking forward. We're seeing a lot of breakout rookie receivers, this, that, or the other. So it's just an added wrinkle, more strategy, more fun, more to think about. God knows we spend way too much time thinking about fantasy, so we might as well be rewarded for it.
That's true. This is
And
true.
at the end of the day, this is the direction you need to go in order to kind of make that more fun and kind of make that or build off that.
Well said. Well said, Kamish.
I'm going to disagree. Just kidding, brother.
I'm going to take Tyreek Hill, actually.
So it's this point in the podcast that I'm actually announcing my resignation as commissioner.
Whoa!
And offering to head up.
I don't allow it. I don't.
Yeah. Sorry.
I knew no one would allow it. God damn it.
The hardest thing is the stats every week, and you do get them out promptly, or the standings. You get them out promptly, and
they've been accurate. I mean, first year, I don't think there's been any inaccuracies.
First couple of years, I was like tabulating them, and now I'm finally calculating them in a spreadsheet where I'm using formulas. Where I was like, why was I using my own brain?
This is so weird.
I don't know. It doesn't work very well.
You guys were calling me out left and right, and I was like, yeah, that was wrong.
It would like completely change the standings. It would be like I'd be in like fourth place, and it's like, dude, why am I seventh right now?
Yeah, I figured that out after a while.
Definitely something to talk about during the off season. Might have to get together, have a couple cold ones, and talk a little fantasy before the season begins. But
when are we going to do the? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
We'll talk about that later. No, we'll keep on the natural flow of the podcast.
Okay. Well, let's get to what we're going to talk about. The Hot Ones race. The highly anticipated Hot Ones race. The three contenders are Matthew Woolery, currently in 10th. Higgins, currently in 11th. Schneider, currently doing the Hot Ones challenge. And it's going to be really tough for him to pass Wooly, considering he's 2 points behind Wooly. Wooly has 60 points on him. So I would say Wooly's pretty safe right now, unless he has a total bomb of a week. I think Schneider is eating the Hot Ones. I don't think his team has what it takes, especially after seeing what Higgins did last week. That dude is
impressive.
fighting. That dude is fighting. Currently holds the belt too, so I feel like he's got a little pride. You can't go first to worst. You can't do that. So I think Schneider's. I don't have odds, but I don't know, minus 250 for Schneider eating Hot Ones. What do you guys think?
I am with you. I do not like Schneider's odds in the sense that I think he's going to be sucking down them wings at some point in the year. Higgins' team just absolutely popped off. I think it was the second highest scoring week of the year, and Schneider's team has not shown any glimpse of that for about 13 weeks here. So what would Higgins have to do to cough it up? So
Higgins would have to
point this week.
Higgins would have to get
2 points.
Yeah, Higgins. It's pretty simple. Higgins has to get 0. Schneider has to get 2.
That's the only way.
Josh, you do have a role. You have a role to play. You got to bury Higgins for your boy Schneider, your fellow Rickery.
Oh well, I mean, I'm gonna be trying to do my part, and by trying, I mean I am going to, because money's on the line for me.
Money is on the line.
But
too early in the season for money to be on the line.
Other than that, though, Schneid has to do his part, which
man,
my man Schneid, I'm not.
Has he gotten 2 points once this year?
I
doubt it. I actually doubt it. Right?
Let's see. Zach Schneider has gotten 2 points in week 3. Week 6, he's actually, the times he's gotten points, he's gotten 2 points. Week 3 and week 6. Otherwise,
and then he has 2 other 1-pointers.
Yeah. Wow.
Correct. Yeah.
Damn. That's a bad year.
No,
I'm not gonna sugarcoat it for Schneider. It's a bad year, and I would like to say, for the record, I was kind of on that from the get-go. Schneider did not have a very good team, but love playing with him. I hope he enjoys the league, because I do love having him in this league.
I do want to say, though, his team does kind of fall back to, does anyone recall the only time we paused the draft this past year, when Najee Harris was selected?
Jared, do you know anything about that?
I am happy I stuck to my guns in that situation because I was going to be fucked up if that went the other way.
That is actually
Because
wow.
that
I
was
haven't thought
that
about
was-
that in a while.
That was a grenade, and my man just jumped on it. I don't know why he did it, but he did.
Yeah, but I think he was
He
was going for him though. No, he wasn't until the end of that.
I think wasn't it Schneider and Jared and Nodler going back and forth?
No, I never went back and forth. That's the whole thing behind it.
Okay, sorry.
God, quit putting smut on my name here.
I don't know that.
What happened then? You tell me.
Well, the first time we go, I'm trying to change my name because in the top it has all these crazy ass names, and I don't know who's drafting. So I'm like, I'm going to change my name, and I'm clicking around up there, and I just hit the bid button, and that was the first time I was like, whoa, and I didn't bid on him once. Second time comes around, I think Snides got him fair and square. I think he was bidding on him.
Yeah.
Right. The second time, he obviously got him, but I mean, on a casualty.
But I don't have a problem with it. As I've said, Jared, I think I had your back in the moment. You have to stick up for yourself in these draft situations.
Or else you're like Sam Elliott, and it happened 2 years ago, and he got last place because he's like, oh, no, it's fine. Guess what? It's not fine.
It's not fine. If you make a mistake, you just need to say it, though.
Okay, I pulled something up. Who's Gibby's guys last year? Is that Sam Elliott?
No,
that's
Higgins,
Higgins, right? Yeah, Higgins.
What am I looking at? I'm trying to pull up the Sam Elliott. Okay, so he got last place last year, and he had 9 total points. So no matter what, he outscores Snides this year.
Wow. Brutal.
I mean, 4 is pretty low. Oh, he's got 6. Sorry.
He's got 6. He's got 6. I mean, even
and Nods had 22. He crushed last year.
Last year, JT. Last year, the bottom 3 were Wooly, Justin, Sam, Wooly. I'm trying to protect your name, man, but you got to do better than bottom 3 next year. The year before was Justin, Sam, and Schneid. We're seeing some.
So I guess Aaron, I think I unfairly threw smut on Schwecky's name. I guess he hasn't really been bottom, but
he hasn't been bottom. He has
fantasy irrelevant, as Jeff would say.
He hasn't made fantasy the playoffs in a few years. Yeah.
Wow.
Hot Ones watch, baby. Can we get the guy from Hot Ones to do it? Do you think? How much would that be? I'll throw him $20 to $50.
I'll sacrifice my entire salary for that.
Perfect. Plus Jared's 50. I think that should be enough.
That would be awesome.
Okay, this pod's gone on long enough. Let's just do a quick. What are you doing of the week?
What are you doing? What are you doing?
The what are you doing of the week is more of a what are you doing of the year, and I'm going to throw my name into the ring for this one. It's been a very disappointing fantasy season for me. Started with a bad auction, continued with bad trades, which I will now admit they were bad trades. Didn't really have a shot at the playoffs this year. It affected my output on podcasts. I've been fairly lackadaisical with the podcast schedule. Glad to have you guys on. But when you suck at fantasy, it's just not fun to talk about fantasy. And, that's the bottom line. So I apologize. What am I doing? What do you guys have to say about it?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. You are my what are you doing of the year for sure. I pulled up the draft recap so I can look at your team to see like where it went wrong. And it went wrong from the draft. You drafted a bad team. Mm-hmm. So you had Dalvin, you had Devontae, and then your next most was Cam Akers. And then you had Lamar, which would have taken you further than you did go. But then, I mean, trading Devontae, who exploded after you traded him, really killed you. So, I mean, I try to look and say that it was the trades, but also the draft was terrible because there was no value after that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're for sure my what are you doing of the year? I mean, no.
So I'm gonna
draft was.
Go ahead, Josh. Sorry.
Go ahead. No.
I was just gonna say I was gonna piggyback on that sentiment. I remember draft night. You were throwing a couple back. This new draft style, none of us have ever done. You know, you're getting nice and loose, maybe too loose, I popped Addy. I've been studying for this shit,
Yeah.
I'm not drinking IPAs, trying to throw my season up.
7% IPAs, too.
So, I mean, the big what are you doing moment is draft night for me.
Yeah. All fair. All, all valid points, I'll say. I expect better of myself, and I talk the most shit out of anyone in this league. And to back it up with absolutely nothing this year, it's quite embarrassing. Really thought this was my year to grab the belt back, and it was bad from the get-go. Also, my points for, I have to be at. Am I the lowest? Please tell me I'm above Schneids.
You are not the lowest.
No,
Schneider's
you're
the
second.
lowest.
Yeah, you got
I got Schneids by 48 points.
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah, that dude sucks.
I will add to that, though. Draft night, it felt like, as a commissioner, I was worried. Everyone was freaking out. No one liked the draft strategy or the draft type. But everyone kind of just bounced back, had a good sentiment afterwards. I think the split decision-making really rattled some people on draft night.
It's a marathon.
It scared me.
I was very scared. All it takes is one pick, and then your strategy is like thrown off the rails for a little bit, and then like a split decision. You got another player you didn't plan on, so there's a lot of people freaking out, but people bounced back. They came back around to draft or auction type. I think it can be good.
My one thing about that is I got really worried because I didn't draft a guy for a while. I don't think I had a pick until like 17 players had already been drafted. And then it's kind of to the point where it's like, well, fuck, I want one of what we consider the top guys. So I think my first pick was maybe Devontae, and I'm just like, fuck it. I will spend as much money as I need to get Devontae. I don't think I overpaid for him, but at some point you get to the point in the draft where it's like, all right, this is the guy I have to go get,
Yeah.
And so I think next year, definitely having a year underneath me, I'll change that strategy. I promise you this. I'm a playoff team next year, baby. That is a lock.
Lock it in, boys.
Lock that shit in.
Write it down.
AC's coming back to the playoffs in 2023.
Can't wait to see it.
It's gonna be glorious. Well, I think we did enough there. Any last thoughts from either of you guys before we end this thing? Any thank yous you'd like to give out?
Yeah, nobody thanked me for my services podcast. That's fucking crazy. And I got nothing else to add.
Josh,
I'm not
thanking him for his service. You're on to the playoffs.
I'm locked in. I'm not thanking anybody. I'm ready to meet my next opponent and move on to the next one.
I'm going to thank my guys. I'm going to thank my guys, my team, the boys. I love them, and I'm ready to go.
Yeah, all right.
They're really
all right, boys.
good, dude. They're really good.
We'll see. Cheers.
I don't want to. Let's not end this. Let's just keep it going.
Bye, everyone.
See you.
Thanks again to Jared and Josh. Aaron Schwecke, thanks for making the attempt. And hope everyone enjoyed the pod. Hope everyone who's in the playoffs enjoys the playoffs. And I'll still be here to commentate, to dissect, to give you the content that I know you all love. And if you do love it, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one. All right. Peace.